How's it going, Aquarius community? You know who it is. It's Soul Tigress with a wonderful story for this special frequency. First off, let me start this video by saying thank you for your time, your energy, and your patience as I navigate this story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. Now, with that being said, this is a space where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors for all the positive messages that are going to come out. With that being said, this is not Love Tarot. What this channel is geared around is self-empowerment. What that means is building the stepping stones to getting closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher power. So let's go ahead and get started with the vibe here, Aquarius. So right away, one thing that I noticed is this: it's a lot of darker cards that are being picked for this time around. Now, I'm going to apologize right away. I don't know what's going on with my speech. I've been like this for a good few days. Even my aunt, who's a Libra, was like, what is going on? You cannot talk right. And I was like, I know. I heard it has something to do, well, I didn't hear it has something to do with, I just know that it could have something to do with I think it's Mercury and the Sun that are coming into conjunction or have came into conjunction with each other. So that's a lot of energy. And for myself, Mercury and the Sun are in my first house, which is Aquarius for me. So I've noticed the past few days especially, I've had a lot more energy. So let's talk about this vibe. Aquarius, do not despair. Right now, you are going through a big test. Everything that you have been working on over the years in so many different areas of your life is being tested. Being able to recognize the bad ego when it wants to leave you stuck, over focusing on things. And that happens when things are out of our control, when we're being hit with so many different areas of our lives that's going awry. We will start to over focus on things and we can't seem to bring ourselves back, which makes it hard for us to do other things in our lives. So just like air and water, things need to circulate. That is the key here, is to keep moving. When one area of your life seems like it's chaos, focus on the other areas and the moves that you are making there. The test is wanting you to see everything that you have been working on and everything that you've been learning for the past years. Is the test wants you to see if you can put it to work, basically. Everything that you've been practicing positive affirmations, you've been practicing to take care of yourself, you've been practicing to have some grace with some others, because others' misery is not your company type of thing. You've had these personal relationships that you've wanted to take to other levels too, that you've been working on. So just know, when it feels like every part of your life is hitting you at once, just know it's all a test right now. It's okay to back up and say sorry too at times. When you feel like, you didn't exercise yourself in the best way when you reacted to something. That is a part of the growth, as well as learning from our mistakes, but being able to get back up after we make a mistake. Another thing is Aquariuses. We are so independent. But this time around, lean on your friends, lean on your family, lean on your coworkers, lean on the people that are there. If they're coming up to you wanting to go do something that is fun, wanting to basically get you out of your home or to take a break, take that break. Take that break. Remember, we get sent different people who have different energies working through them. And a lot of times I'll harbor how we can have dark energies working through people, but you can also have energies of the divine working through people too. So, you know, you could be having people coming to you because it's time to take a break. It's time to take a breather. It's time to get out and to experience something different in your life besides just the chaos that's going. And this is something that's going to help keep you grounded. Shadow work is being brought out, and it has to do with this new moon in Gemini in particular. Gemini's planet is also Mercury. And this time around, Mercury talks about how we communicate with ourselves and how we think. A lot of it, how we think about ourselves. I always like to tell people the way we talk, the way we think about ourselves, our inner being hears it and it feels it. Just know that. Another thing that came in is definitely we need to start unblocking our third eye here, Aquarius. That means you need to get in sync or start to open up to dialing into your intuition a little bit more. Now, the question I hear is, well, what happens if I chose wrong on something and I thought I was following my intuition? You are at where you're supposed to be at because there's a lesson there for you. When you hold on to stuff or when you try and race away from it, you're racing away from the lesson. Sometimes, again, getting out and doing something different, experiencing something different, talking to different people when you're on these adventures, you may learn something new about the world, about people, about yourself. Gotta stay open. So let's go ahead and get started with the introduction, Aquarius. What is going on in here? Ooh. Take time, cleanse out. I'm seeing a bath. Ooh, a bath using some good lotions or oils, you know, to help hydrate your skin as well. Taking time to take care of yourself. That's what I'm seeing. Surrender is going to be our first card up and our first card out. Something that we're not seeing, definitely something that we're really confused on. And it falls towards where my root chakra is. It could be something that's causing us anxiety, insecurity, fear, and restlessness. Whatever it is, you can surrender it. You can surrender it to the divine. There are plenty of times that I have to just ask for patience or I ask for the divine to help me take care of stuff. Something else you're not seeing and you are at odds ends with the wisdom. Aquarius, you've been living your life for a bit. All right, you're constantly observing. You're also a preventer. You're a very compassionate person as well. You're always wanting to make sure that the team is taken care of kind of vibe. And for some reason right here, you're not seeing it, you're not feeling it, and you're not communicating it with yourself. Let's see what else needs to come out. Interesting. So I have beauty in reverse. It falls under this wisdom. There's something here again that's testing the wisdom that you've learned. It wants you to see the beauty in the things that you know. Having discernment to keep your peace. To keep your alignment with higher energies of the universe as well, those higher vibrations. All right, and the last card that we're not seeing, ooh, is the path. You're at odds and ends with where you're at right now. I don't think it's where you've been. I would say it's definitely where you're at right now. Wherever you're at right now doesn't make you feel like you've grown over the years. You've excelled at whatever you've been working on. That's what I get. And the biggest thing here is to surrender this feeling, is to see the beauty in the things that you've learned over the years. Maybe even looking at the different ups and downs that you had with different situations, with people, places, and things. It's hard. You know, you can definitely be surrounded or be in an area that doesn't help you flex into your skills, help you flex into these abilities that you've been working on. And sometimes you'll get places, you'll get people who only want things one way. And as I say, places and people, we have this in the side position, but then as you see it, it turned. Well, I helped it too though, but we have a Two of Cups here. Partnerships. We have partnerships. Yeah, what I talk about. High Priestess energy in reverse. Well-read energy. This partnership, wherever you're at with the person, place, and or thing, is like what I'm saying. It's not matching. You're confused because remember, this did turn to this way as well. So it's not a good match, but you're confused on this match. And again, you're making yourself feel like you're not well read up on stuff. Like you haven't been around the block, like you haven't been putting in the work, like you haven't been grinding on things, like you haven't been approving all along. It could almost be making you feel like you're back. Excuse me. It could be almost making you feel like you're back at stage one. Like you're back at the beginning. All right. Something else. Let's see. 7 of Coins. So a lot of 7 of Coins energy too could depict working on stuff. This one wants to harvest from the work that's already being put in. But there's no harvest here. It's not good stability. It's not, what I'm hearing is there isn't good reassurance here. And this reassurance could be maybe validation. This reassurance could be reassurance that, you know, things are going to work out. Things are going to be fruitful. You're going to be fed from being here. Instead of your labor, you know, equaling to nothing and you're left out in the cold. You want to see, you would like to feel that you would get some kind of fruit here. And it's, I don't know, I feel like the cat's out the bag on something. That's what I'm hearing. Comes to a 9 of Cups in a confused position. The cat's out the bag on how you feel about your success here. Are you successful here? Are you not successful here? And this is where you're confused on how to have discernment. What is your success? Is it your success from your view? Or is it your success from another person's view? That I was told to express. That's something you need to ask yourself, because if you're relying on the opinions of others, then you are not really fully seeing yourself. You're asking to put on other people's lenses to see you. That can be a good thing to do at times. At times when you're merely trying to observe something. But when you're trying to create validation for yourself, especially some self-value as well, that's not good, because as soon as their opinion changes of you, then where does that leave you? How are you going to feel about yourself then? That's why it's always important to build these foundations of loving yourself, validating yourself, protecting yourself as well. All right, so something here. We went on a journey with something. Again, with this Knight of Coins, we were hoping that we were going to find stability. We were hoping that this would have been that slow but yet steady kind of race here. That again, everything was gonna be stable. I don't hear that you counted all your chickens before they hatched kind of thing. But there was just this really settling, trying to settle kind of energy, putting up with it because of how much we really wanted something to work out, maybe. And remember, this is with a person, place, and or thing. What else needs to come out for the present? Yeah, you're confused on how to go. And this is where you need to have discernment. Because I have the Six of Swords here, and this Six of Swords is heavily looking at the Two of Cups and the Seven of Coins. You're dealing with a lot in your emotions when it comes down to this. You don't know how to feel about it. It's like what I keep hearing is like ghosts in a closet, maybe ghosts behind closed doors of other kind of behaviors, or maybe something else that you've experienced before. Again, that this would play into what was in the vibe with it, saying that everything that you've worked on is being tested, because it wants to see if you're going to navigate all this that you're dealing with here the same way that you've navigated it as before. Six of Swords, that's that fixed energy too. That's Aquarius. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Now we have the Death card coming up. The Death card in reverse, followed by, look at that, the Seven of Swords in upright. And we'll pull this one, 21, the Universe. Well, I can say this Aquarius is still making moves. This Aquarius is still making moves, even though there's something here. There's some kind of energy that is stuck here. It could be these people are stuck, because we have the Death card, which represents Scorpio energy. Scorpio is all about the 8th house, transformation through relationships. So what you can be noticing is that this is not your birds of a feather kind of area. And with that in mind, you're debating. There could be a debate on to do something a little bit different, to try and navigate yourself out of this mess. And again, reopening the door to your universe. Finding where you belong. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. This tells me that you're working through it. Everything that we're kind of talking about says that you're taking steps to work through it. You still are holding on to the potential that maybe could happen here, but at the same time, because Aquariuses are unpredictable, you have a trick up your sleeve. Whatever it is, you've recognized the energy for the stuckness here. The fact that this energy isn't going to be able to help you keep growing, to help you keep transforming, transformation, you know, rebirth kind of thing. I like that. I like that a lot. Kudos, Aquarius. Kudos. Kudos. One of the things that you're focused on is that fulfillment. I find that very interesting. The fulfillment comes because you want to provide. You want to be fair. You want to have what you need, kind of thing. And it's in the emotions, but again, it's also the stability of wherever this is at with a person, place, and or thing. And the thing is, when stuff is out of balance, when stuff is not fair, when stuff becomes entangling, especially in the mind, you, Aquarius, have been able to move. You may be struggling a little, and that could be where you are being hard on yourself. You're kind of being a critic of that because everything isn't as of the routine that you were working on. That happens. That's okay. Because you're still making moves. You're still holding yourself accountable. Even though you're not fulfilling it fully like the way you would want it to be, you're still doing it. You're still making the efforts here on whatever it is that you've been working on in your, could be your self-care. It could be the things that you're working for. It could be hobbies and stuff like that. But those things are really important to you, and you're not going to let whatever this other environment stop you. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be struggling with trying to get back on it because it's supposed to show you how to recognize how important these other parts of your life are too. Woo-wee. Good job. I'm hearing that you've been resourceful too, and kind of doing different things, trying to make sure to not just like escape out of everything to where you are, say, burying yourself in something totally 110% of your energy. No, you're still coming back in and you're still dealing with things. I like that you still got plan B going. You got that trick up your sleeve going. You're still making the moves with knowing why you're making the moves. And the moves come down to this stability, and that stability helping create, again, stability for the emotional self. Now, the stability could have to do with currency, and that currency could be actual money currency. The currency could be how secure you feel around people in certain environments as well. So let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into this. What is it that needs to come out for this block? Angels of protection, please protect us as we navigate Aquarius's block. Judgment. The first card to come out. Judgment, judgment, judgment. Be careful of the judgment you give, kind of thing. Trying to navigate the chaos in those other areas of your life. Be careful about creating a judgment to help you move forward, because we can create judgments that have bitterness, jealousy, could be of holding grudges, or even lack of empathy that we hang on to solidify that judgment, to solidify the reason why we're doing what we're doing. Whatever changes you make, it doesn't have to be made with a closed heart chakra. It could be made with a open heart chakra, which is love, compassion, harmony, emotional balance, and forgiveness. So let's see what else we have. The King of Candles. That one's interesting. This King of Candles. maybe one of the things you need to recognize is maybe the illusion that you give yourself when you start off with things, and that illusion is always trying to see the better side of things. I mean, that's a part of trying to live in love, light, and compassion, but there's red flags. This person's throwing flaming red flags. This place is throwing flaming red flags for you. And for others, it could be fine, but for you, it's not. It is not. And the thing is whatever this is, it's relying heavy on its ego, heavy on its image, heavy on the glitz and the glamour of kind of things, the show of things. It's it's like I don't want to go political, but it's like you watching a movie and being like, wow, look at that. That was so awesome. What they did inside this house, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then, but if you were actually to go to the set of where that was filmed, you would see how basic it is, how superficial it is, and the only reason why it looked so wonderful was the glitz, the glamour that they threw around it, is what they were calling it, kind of thing. And that's what I'm getting from this vibe. It's definitely what they're calling themselves, what they're trying to say it is, but it's not. We all can think of examples with celebrity or famous people who had others pay for their advertising to portray them in a certain way, but in real life it wasn't that way. It's that kind of example here. Yeah. Oh, you got confused. You were trying to kind of like not throw judgment right away. I felt like this is why that judgment card comes out. You didn't want to judge it too soon, but with Igor here as the King of Potions, yes, Master, yes. This is nothing but what I'm hearing is a rouge. A rouge? A rouge? It's nothing but in a sense, a mirage. Because a mirage is something that you think's there, but it's not really there. Because you don't want to judge a book by its cover, you have been in a mode of reservedness. And that reservedness has not quite kicked people to the curb for what I'm hearing is the shitty attitudes, shitty ways, shitty shit that's been happening. That's the best way I can do it. It's the best way I can describe it. I mean, you put yourself in a position to try and trust whatever's going on here, but it's not really much to trust here. It's an illusion. It's not as ground as what it seems, and there is more than one influence that's playing into the vibe there. That's what I can say, because this is a yes man. That means somebody else is pulling the strings. That means whatever's been happening here has been happening here for a while. Now, I do want to touch on that you can get certain places, certain homes, certain buildings, certain areas that outdoors in nature that have certain ties to certain energies. The last place that I worked, had a very dark, negative tentacle energy. And what would happen at this location for a lot of people is they would feel like they didn't have any other choice but to be there, that they were literally stuck. And when I focused on the energies around it, I could see these long tentacles reaching into the property, into all the areas of the property. And this energy had infested so badly into this property that it was just kind of the vibe that was given off. Like literally, I would come onto this property and I could feel the change in the energies even within myself when I went there. It was really weird, but it was also really nice to recognize. So just know that it's not you. It's not you. Let this be the reconfirming message to you that it's not you. Honestly, it's not you. I don't feel like these are your birds of a feather here. Whatever this is, it's not. It's making you feel like you are less. And that, like I said, this one, whoever this is, they're throwing burning red flags. They're really throwing that. And that is a major red flag when you have people, places, and or things that make you feel less. Especially if you've been working hard in whatever it is that this is pertaining to. And then we have 2 of Candles here. I just feel like you're not getting much of a choice. You're just really not getting much of a choice. I mean, 2 of Candles could talk about overlooking, new beginnings and stuff here. And I feel like, yes, this was a beginning here, but it comes with 2 extremes. 2 very big extremes here. But whatever these extremes are, it plays on you. And it's a group. Like I said, it's more than one. It's what's tied to this location. And then I have the 4 of Candles right here. So we went from 2 of Candles and we doubled up to 4. And then technically with these 2, we'd have 6. Yeah, it doesn't get more clearer because it's even touching on this King of Potions. Like I said, the one who's working for another. It's just the vibe here. The Hierophant. Not seeing that Hierophant. The 10 of Candles. Page of Candles. It's a lot of candles right there. A part of the block is it's definitely blocking you from some of your charisma, some of the enthusiasm that you have for this particular area of your life with whatever it is that you're doing, that you have to be at this place dealing with whoever this is. It's definitely a really big block for that. But I'm also getting with the Hierophant in reverse. This is one of the things that's also being tested is your beliefs. Again, coming back to the things that you've been working on, the things that you want to believe in. When it comes to your intentions, the way you're going and your future goals that you have in life. I think that you feel it too. I really think that you feel this. This is why, again, you have a trick up the sleeve there. So this is nice. This is really nice. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is going to talk about change. It's also going to talk about resisting change, seeking security. This is something that's going to bring big change into your life. Because what happens here is whatever you've been working on, if you can apply it to the lessons that you're having in a lot of areas of your life, it's going to create a change within you. But again, it has to come at the expense of learning it through others here. And it has to be these others. There's no getting around this lesson, and this lesson not having to involve other humans. It's just what it is here. But the lesson here for you is to really step into your personal power. And also knowing how to navigate stuff like this and making sure to take care of yourself the whole time. I say this a few times in stories, and just keep in mind, you can be in one place that's gonna waggle their finger at you, tell you like this. You could be dealing with one person who's doing a lot of that waggling and saying you. But maybe somewhere else, you're going to have people who have their arms open to you, their hand out to meet you at an equal level. Keep that in mind. There's always two sides to every coin. So next up is I have the 9 of Potions. 9 of Potions, Ace of Candles, and then literally we have the 4 of Needles right here. You battle yourself on going because you don't want to give up. You don't want to have to throw in the towel and say that they won. You're so stubborn. You're so stubborn. That's what's so beautiful about you. You rubbing them wrong because you're sticking up for certain things that are really important to you. It could be important for the way you do things too. And that is what could be rubbing these people wrong. Whatever it is, it's something that you are doing. And I don't feel like it's anything negative. Again, it's something that you've learned along the way on whatever it is that you've been working on. And the whole thing is I can take this as one of two different ways. It could be one way where you have these others who are trying to rock your boat and not make you feel as educated, maybe not make you feel as competent. Could be a lot of stuff like that. It could definitely have to do with going in and hitting you in certain ways that really affect how you've been successful through whatever it is that you've been working on with person, place, and or thing. And I feel like that is the very thing that, you know, has stuff swirling around you. These thoughts, the over-focusing, not knowing what to think, not knowing how to take what's happening kind of thing. And it leaves you confused and it leaves you stuck. It makes you feel like you're less. It makes you feel like there's something wrong with you. And that could be the thing that is dulling the light, dulling your charisma for whatever it is that you've been working on. Remember, there was that one Medea movie, and she was talking to an adolescent, and they were talking about how this girl was getting called names. And they're like, you know, they can't call you a name that, how do I put it? They can call you whatever name that they want to, but what matters is if you answer to it. That's the thing. And it's almost like when a person gets really upset and they're being called, excuse my language, an asshole or a bitch, and you have that person who's being called those names finally get pissed off and want to match energies and say, well, you want to see an asshole? You want to see a bitch? this is something that they could be playing at. They could be testing you and pushing your buttons to get a reaction out of you. Because a lot of people, when you come in well educated, when you come in well versed, when you come in trying your hardest at the things that you do, again with people, places, and or things, and there's others there who are not at that level, they get intimidated. They start competing. They don't realize that you're on their team to help them win. Instead, they see you as a threat. So then, what do they start doing? Start messing with you in different ways to try and poke at you and to disarm you. And this could be something that's happening here like that. So just know it's all a test. It is all a test. The way you're working on it in the present, you're doing a great job. Even with the slip-ups, you're doing a great job. Congratulate yourself for still trying and caring about the routine, making sure it's still important to you instead of just giving up on it. So let's go ahead and start this conclusion. Again, this is shadow work here. And if you go check out the new moon, full moon interpretation, it talks about this. It talks about the communication. It talks about how we're thinking. And one thing it also talks about in there is I mentioned that we have to know our audience. Know your audience. If you have an audience here that's targeting you, well, you already have a trick up your sleeve. You can outfox them. That's easy. How do you outfox them? By staying up on what you're doing. That's how you outfox them. But if you go check out that new moon in Gemini, full moon in Sagittarius interpretation, you're going to get a little bit more in depth as to the energies that we're dealing with, especially when it comes to our divine connection and this earthly connection here, staying grounded and where we're at in this moment, but also with that full moon going off into our truth, igniting the charisma that we have for the things that we're dedicated to by understanding why we're so dedicated. So let's get started. Divine and universal energy. What is it that needs to come out for the Aquarius? All right, so Aquarius, the 11th house, social aspirations, ideas, and reform. You don't know it. You don't know it. You don't see it. And they're not going to realize it until probably it's too late for them. But you're teaching here. Your house is all about reform. Your house is all about taking care of others and trying to do it to the best. You know, making things more copacetic for everyone, for the environment. Again, a lot of Aquariuses like to do preventative kind of work. What they don't understand, what you don't understand, or what you're not seeing as well, is that this is teaching. Again, with everybody, we are students, but we are teachers as well. You could be teaching them a lesson if they choose, and they're going to level up. But the whole thing is you're also getting rooted in all the teachings that you have learned over the years that have to do with, look at that, ancient wisdom. I say following that intuition, really being solid in the foundations of being able to trust in yourself. Just know when we go through these lessons, it's an uphill thing. It's an uphill thing, especially in our emotions, especially when we feel like we're out on our own when we're doing it. when we're trying to find the reasons why we keep showing up for it. Just know it's all a part of it. It's all part of the grand picture, the circle of life. And it's all good. It is all good. Whatever you're working on, whatever you're working towards, keep up that optimism. That Sagittarius house right there, that optimistic kind of view of manifesting things. Knowing that whatever this is, it's not your last resort. Again, I see that with this trick up the sleeve. So if you're having any anxieties of what you're working towards, especially when it comes to opening that door or the doors of different opportunities that are still out there, just know it's all good. The things that you're reaching for the stability and to be the provider, it's all good. As long as you keep going. You keep going. All right, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more cards. What are the last 2 for Aquarius? All right, we have 3. Home. This situation, what I'm hearing is guard that sacred home. Guard that sacred home, especially on how we fill it, what we fill it with, who we allow in it, who we don't allow in it. I'm not telling you to ice yourself off, because we're really good at that finally when we get fed up. But if you do that, then they're winning in a sense, because they want to rock you. They want you to keep their misery company in a sense. So with this is watch out how you're fulfilling your emotional cup. Watch it. On the days that seem harder, or even the days that you are struggling and you have to go into this environment, just know that you have options when it comes to how far you let people in. You don't have to be friends with everybody. The greatest example when it comes to how we trust people is it depends on how much we let them into our homes and into what areas. Think about this. There are only some people who will make it to just the front door. There are some people who will only make it to our living room area, and that's it. We won't let them go any further. Then there are some people that we trust a little bit more, that we will be open with them, coming into our bedroom or walking around more freely around our home. Keep that in mind when it comes to the opinions of these others. How far do you want their opinions to go into that internal home? Remember, you have a right to close that gate and not let those opinions in. Remember, we don't have to keep other people's misery company. And the last card. Remember we talked about this? Grounding out. Grounding out in this lesson. Grounding out in this moment. Grounding out in this ride. Take those breaks when you have the friends, family, the co-workers that you do get along with. Take those breaks, even if nobody's ushering you to come and have a break with them. If somehow appointments cancel, somehow you have the free time, take that break to ground yourself out. Get out. Get out of the home if you can. Get out of the work environment and go to somewhere different so you can experience a different view in life and just be able to not have to deal with whatever this is for a few moments. That's always nice. Make sure to take your breaks. Everybody deserves breaks, Aquarius. All right. So Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides for coming in and helping out with all these positive messages. And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.